Hello and welcome to Long Story Short Q&A. My name is Katie, and today the question we're going to be exploring is there any evidence for Jesus outside of the Bible? I'm joined by Dr. Graham Blakey. So Graham, what do you think?
I think the evidence is overwhelming. Not that we actually need additional evidence, because the New Testament documents themselves are incredibly reliable, the gospel accounts and the letters in the New Testament. But that we have any additional evidence is actually quite astonishing, because Palestine was a backwater of the far-flung Roman Empire. And yet, amazingly, news about this itinerant preacher and teacher, Jesus, reached as far as Rome. And so we end up with some of the best kind of witnesses possible, hostile witnesses. For example, Tacitus, the Roman historian, talks about this, quote, pernicious superstition, Christianity. And it's a lovely turn of phrase if you're hostile toward Christianity. So when we look at all of the evidence, there's no question that Jesus existed. And Bart Ehrman, the skeptical scholar, affirms that. He says no reputable scholar of antiquity doubts the existence of Jesus, because the evidence is so compelling and so clear. So what is it that this hostile testimony that we have, in addition to the Gospels and the New Testament letters, what is it that evidence gives us? Well, the information is pretty broad, pretty compelling. Listen to this quote from historian Edwin Yamauchi. He says this, quote, "Even if we did not have the New Testament or Christian writings, we would be able to conclude from such non-Christian writings as Josephus, the Talmud, Tacitus, and Pliny the Younger, that first, Jesus was a Jewish teacher. Second, many people believed that he performed healings and exorcisms. Third, he was rejected by the Jewish leaders. Fourth, he was crucified under Pontius Pilate in the reign of Tiberius. Fifth, despite his shameful death, his followers who believed that he was still alive spread beyond Palestine, so that there were multitudes of them in Rome by AD 64. And sixth, lastly, all kinds of people from the cities and the countryside, men and women, slave and free, worshipped him as God by the beginning of the 2nd century. In other words, what Yamauchi is saying, that even if we dispense with the excellent documents, the historical documents of the Gospels and the New Testament letters, which we shouldn't, but even if we did, we would be able to not just attest the existence of Jesus on historical grounds reliably, but we would be able to accurately reconstruct many of the details of his life and teaching and ministry and impact from these hostile witnesses. So we can say definitively, clearly, confidently, the evidence for Jesus' existence and for the events of his life, ministry, and teaching and impact are clearly established, rock solid.